Before we get into this episode, remember we have launched the first ever USA College Masterclass. We have got a massive discount code for you guys, so head over to the link in description and capitalize on it. It's not going to be up for too much longer, and get started on your college journey. Welcome to another episode of the Platform Podcast, where we try to educate you guys about the American college system. We've had Andy Pete on here on the last episode, who is the New Zealand Ferns video analysis, and that was a great conversation. Today we're changing tack. We've actually got a current student athlete of ours, Henry Wang. Thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate you. You're back from the US after your first year in college, man. You were in Texas. So
Yes, I am, yeah.
Before we get into, what school you're in and that sort of thing, I mean, the big one is that you are a golfer. You're a golf student athlete right now. You're back from America. But let's just dive into where it all started for you. Like, you're from Auckland. We're currently sitting in our office in Newmarket. How did you get into golf? Who was the first person that introduced the game to you?
So yeah, I initially played football when I was younger.
Yeah.
Played left wing. I wasn't very fit at the time, but one of my teammates, who was one of my close friends at the time, he was like, come out to local golf club and hit a few shots with me. And there was a junior clinic. It was all snag golf, so like plastic clubs and all that. And I hit a few 7-irons. I get 60 meters. And I was like, damn, this is fun. I can get used to this. And over the next couple of years, I just kept playing. Made the Auckland development team and all that, and just kind of went from there. So it was a lot of fun.
Man, I mean, you've had such a great junior career, haven't you? I mean, we were just chatting. I know we were chatting too much before this podcast, where we were diving into too much content that we're going to be discussing today. So it might be a bit repetitive, the questions I'm going to ask you. But I mean, the first time we met, we were just doing the math on it before. It was about, 2015, where Marcus Wilhouse was running the Auckland golf system. And he invited, I was living in Wellington at the time, and he said, can you come up to Auckland and do a presentation to some student athletes? And I actually didn't realize that you were sitting in the front row. And how old were you at that presentation?
Doing the math, I would have been like 11, 12. I didn't know anything. I was in intermediate school, so didn't know anything about college or university and stuff like that. But it was good to understand it and show a lot of interest and stuff, especially because I was sitting in the front row, so I was super engaged. Yeah,
man. It was great to see such a packed room. I mean, if we can find a photo from that event, I'll chuck it up on the YouTube here so these guys can see it. But I mean, it's great that a lot of these coaches in Auckland, like Marcus, for example, who we've also had on a podcast, is a real big advocate for sending athletes to America, because I think it's a pretty cool system. I mean, tell us about your parents. So you live with your mum and dad in Auckland, and you've got an older brother. Congratulations, by the way, you're an uncle. Your brother your brother and his wife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Tell me about your parents and how supportive they've been for you.
So they came over from China about just over 20 years ago. So being immigrant parents, they put a lot of hard work in and over from a young age, and instilled in hard work in me and all that sort of stuff. So I'm very grateful for that. And then that helps a lot with sports and school and just your personal life, and being committed and dedicated to what you do and how to improve yourself and all that sort of stuff. So I learned a lot from them, and they still work really hard around the house or with work and all that sort of stuff, and always pushing me to become a better person. Yeah,
I remember I mean, I haven't spoken to your parents in a long time. Probably just that meeting I had at your house, before we were choosing which college you're going to. Yeah. Is he still working with Air New Zealand?
Yeah, he's still working there.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that, man. He's an engineer. Was an engineer?
Engineer. He works with like fixing all the stuff on the planes and all that. So
awesome, man. And your mum's working as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. Not as much as she used to, but a little bit, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Cool. So, look, we started working together a few years ago, so 2 or 3 years ago, and we're going through the entire process together. I remember coming to your house before you went to the US, and we were at crossroads. We had a few different options. There were some Division 1 schools, but there were also some Division 2 schools as well that we're looking at. And I remember asking you, what are your 4 pillars of college recruitment? Because you know how I tell athletes, like, there's location, academics, there's golf, and then there's also like the cost factor as well. And everyone ranks those a bit differently. And I mean, if I went to college in America, cost would be number one for me. Tennis would have been number two because I would like to be a pro tennis player. Number three, academics would be for me. And then I was willing to sacrifice the location to make it, it doesn't have to be in California, as long as the cost was really good. Like, as long as I was on a lot of money and I wasn't paying much to go to university. What was it like for you guys? Like, did you guys have those discussions as a family?
Yep. My parents, they were like, cost isn't as big of a factor, but I knew that going to be a big factor for us. So obviously that would have been number one for me. And I wanted to go to a big school. So a lot of people were at a school where there was a lot of people. It's like our school is over 30,000 students, which is very cool. And it's all growing. They're building a lot of new facilities. Hopefully sometime over the next semester, our golf facilities will be built. Then it was, I really like to make a personal connection with the coach. So initially our coach was, I asked him, what are your values in life? And he's like, I value in loyalty and commitment and all that sort of stuff. And
wait, you asked that to the coach?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Have you ever heard, anyone ask that question? What do you value in life to a college coach?
Not really, but it's a good question.
That's a great question, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, well done, bro. That's awesome, man. That's the best one.
Yeah, and obviously all that sort of aligned with us. So that was a good feeling, knowing that the coach I was going to go with valued a lot of the same things I did in life. And then apart from that, it was, cost,
coach, academics.
Academics.
Yeah.
Okay, so academics, I guess I'm pretty good in school, so I mean, doesn't matter really where I go. Yeah. But I was gonna get a good education. It's all about how you do in school. If you put in the work, you're gonna do well regardless where you go.
Yeah.
That was kind of around there as well, and I guess location was a big thing as well. Like, I remember in 2019, that was the first time I went to America, and we got to play a couple events and all that sort of stuff.
Did you go? You went with your coach Karen at the time, right? Yeah. Was Jordan Jones part of that as well?
He was.
Yeah, that's the US trip that we've been talking about, because we're helping Jordan right now through the process. So that's cool, man. What did you think about that time in the States?
Yeah, so we went to California first. Didn't really like it as much as Texas. Texas was a way different vibe. People were, I feel like they were more friendly, and they just enjoyed to talk to other people from around the world better.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's so cool. Now, you've just completed your freshman year at University of Texas, Grand Valley State University, a great Division I program. I mean, I love that school, not only because you're there as well, but we're connected with their soccer program. We've got a Kiwi playing from New Zealand on the men's soccer team, we transferred him to that program, Finn O'Connor. And then also the tennis coach, Nathan Robinson, he actually used to coach at a university called UC Davis, which I know a lot of people know about. And then he got the head coaching role there. And then one guy that I played tennis with, his name's TK Williams, he was on the men's tennis team, which I know that you know of as well. So I love that program because we've got so many connections at that school. And it's also in a very good conference. You get to travel a bit, right? Yeah. I guess the thing that was really difficult for you is when I was at your house and was saying, okay, University of Texas, Grand Valley State is the option for you. It has a great golf program, good weather. I remember you told me vividly you don't want to play in the snow. So it's good weather. It's got good academics, and also the coach had good values as well, right? So it ticked a lot of your boxes. And then when you're about to go there, you get a message from the coach saying, hey, look, something's come up personally. I'm stepping away as the head coach. How did you feel knowing that you had no idea who the new coach would be?
Yeah, well, we have an assistant coach, so she kind of kept me updated throughout the whole time. But obviously, going into a new environment, you want to feel somewhat comfortable. And being that kind of period of time where we're transitioning to a new coach, I had no idea who it was or what he's going to be like. That was tough. But eventually, when we knew who it was, we talked a bit and got to know each other better over the course of the whole year. He turned out to be a great guy. Knows a lot of stuff coming from a big university as well.
Yeah.
Gave us a lot of very meaningful and insightful information about course and life and how to manage your time around university.
Yeah, you mentioned something before we started filming this podcast. You know, we were chopping it up a little bit, talking about Coach Houston. And, you know, Coach Houston is his name, and he used to coach at Houston University.
Yeah.
And now he's at University of Texas, Grand Valley, which is great. What's the best thing about him as a coach? Like, what does he do really well to keep you boys on track?
So he knows when to be harsh on us, when to be, supportive, that kind of stuff. That's really important. Like, so we are not feeling comfortable all the time, but we're getting pushed to become better as individuals.
And you got that support there if you need it.
Exactly.
That's cool.
He's real, like, kind of, I want to say individualized. So obviously we're together as a team, but he also helps us in individual ways. So for me, for example, he's real supportive. Like, he knows how to encourage me and, get me into that correct mindset of competing and all that. And then for someone else, for a different teammate, it might be a different thing.
Cool, man.
That sort of stuff.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, not many people know about your university. I know there's a few definitely soccer players in New Zealand listening to this that know about your university because most of them want to go there. But for some of the parents that have got young golfers in the family that are keen to go to the US, what's it like at your university? Like, what facilities as an athlete do you get access to?
So I want to say one of the coolest things is our weather. It's always perfect.
Yeah, you got a nice glow on you, man.
even winter, there'd be like 1 or 2 weeks where it'd be like close to 0 degrees, but everything else is just our summers here.
Nice.
Basically. Our facilities. So obviously we stay in dorms, which is literally right across from the road.
Do you have your own room
campus.
or you're sharing with someone?
Yeah, we stay in like an apartment style campus.
Nice.
Dorm. So we've got four people in an apartment.
Yeah.
We each get our own rooms and everything else is kind of shared.
Are you with like mixed people, like from mixed sports, or is it like just students and just athletes, or are you purely golf team?
So we're staying as a golf team.
Oh,
so
how good!
It was a cool experience because it was me and 3 other Spaniards.
Oh,
so
no way!
It was a
How's
lot
your
of
Spanish?
Getting a little better.
Yeah.
I remember one trip we were singing a song by Bad Bunny, and they're like, "If you learn the lyrics of this song, I'll get you Chipotle."
Did you learn it?
I got the chorus down and a lot of other stuff, but
did you get the Chipotle?
Nah. Maybe sometime this semester.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so facilities wise, obviously the golf facilities are being built right now.
Yep.
Like all the structures being put up, and hopefully over the next couple of months the insides will be furnished and we'll have our cool bays and locker rooms and all that.
Yeah.
And the other ones, like, always getting upgraded the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Our basketball/volleyball courts
All got done up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Our strength and conditioning place where our gyms we train in the mornings.
Yeah.
That's been furnished and it looks real nice. And that's where I got my first muscle up as well.
No way.
So I'm getting stronger as well.
You're looking good, man. I mean, I remember when I gave you that platform shirt that you're wearing right now. It was real baggy, and then you filled it out, and now you're real lean again.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's an athlete, right? Your body sort of fluctuates. What is the strength and conditioning like?
So
at the gym?
We as a team we train twice together per week. We get up, I think we start at 6:30. We go do that for an hour. It's not a lot of strength stuff, but a lot of like speed and mobility, like real golf focused.
Yeah, that's good.
We actually train a lot with the tennis team.
Oh, no way.
Last semester, and like obviously TK.
Yeah, shout out
if
TK.
You're a strong lad.
I'll clip that up and send it to TK's a good rooster, mate.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like the atmosphere is just amazing. Like we always pushing each other, and it's always we got the music blasting in the background.
Yeah, good. Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny sometimes. Yeah. A lot of I think it was country music and rock music.
Oh, there you go. Is that courtesy of Coach Houston?
Nah, courtesy of our strength and conditioning coaches.
Oh yeah.
How good. They love a bit of that, and sometimes they let us pick our music.
Oh,
which is real cool.
What's your go-to pump-up song as a golfer?
Right now,
Yeah.
I want to say a lot of Spanish music.
Oh,
Just
nice.
because of like where I've been to and the culture that was surrounding me.
Yeah.
So I've got a whole Spanish playlist now, like
Yeah.
full of reggaeton music.
Let's go, man. Now you're talking my language, bro. I'm big into that and also Afropop. But before I played tennis, I just went on Spotify and looked up Tomorrowland. And just, you know, like that big festival that they have overseas in Europe. It's like all these DJs come and play, like Diplo and
I feel like I've heard of it. Yeah,
all these
definitely
EDM
seen something
DJs,
about
and
it.
I just put that on and just gets me going. I mean,
Yeah.
Producer William, what do you reckon, mate? What was your go-to song for lacrosse?
I was going to be Kanye.
Kanye? Kanye West? Oh, okay.
Kanye.
Which one of his songs? I'm putting you on the spot here.
It's pretty.
Oh yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad shout. Yeah, does your team how's the energy, bro? Like when you guys are going to compete, you've played golf by yourself your whole life until you went to college, and now you're part of a big team. Obviously, you played some Auckland provincial stuff too, right? Which is great. But now you become part of a big team. What's the energy like? How do you guys back each other up and fire each other up before you guys get out there?
It's a lot of dapping each other up.
Yeah,
and,
let's go.
You know, like when we wake up, let's get it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like just hyping each other
I
up.
love that.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do a lot of qualifying
Yeah.
because only 5 of us get to travel each tournament. But every time I got to travel, it was a great atmosphere. Like a lot of the journeys we played, the tournaments we played were in Texas.
Yeah.
So we would go on drives and all that.
Yeah.
And our coach would have David Goggins playing the whole time. Like his
way.
audiobook. He's like, you listen to this, Henry. Like, I'm all the way in the back. I'm just minding my own business. But he's always, you know, are you listening to this? Are you listening to this?
That's cool, man.
But everyone, like, during the trip is kind of doing their own thing. And then we have little, like, obviously stops.
Yeah.
Favorite stops being Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been or heard of Buc-ee's.
No. Have
But
you heard of Buc-ee's? No.
For everyone who's been to, I want to say mainly Texas.
Yeah.
They're like kind of truck stops where you fill petrol up and you go inside.
Yeah.
There's like a little like a huge convenience store.
Is it kind of like the BP gas stations here with like the Wild Bean Cafe attached to it, kind of thing?
Yeah, but bigger.
Bigger.
Like, everything's bigger in Texas. You gotta remember that. But like, you know, when we're having dinner or when we're having our team meetings, it's a great atmosphere. Like everyone's focused. Everyone's, you know, got their mind on the task and all that sort of stuff.
That's cool, man. That's so sick. I mean, let's talk about your fall semester. When you started as a freshman, I was closely watching your results. And actually, you know, the coach that gave you the offer, Philip Tate, who decided to step away due to personal reasons. He was actually working with us. I gave him a role in my company, and
Really?
he was placing golf athletes with us. He's a great man, great guy. Just had to he had a personal situation happen, which is why he stepped away.
Yeah.
And then obviously Coach Houston stepped in, and it's been great getting to know him as well. Like as soon as he was a coach, added him on Facebook, hit him up on Messenger, and we started chatting and had a couple of phone calls. And he's been asking me for some recruits as well, which has been great. Hopefully we can get him another Kiwi. But when you went there, right, and you started competing, you weren't. Sometimes, like, you're a freshman, right? You're very new to the sport, so you weren't getting an opportunity to compete right away. You had to earn it, and you did. You went in there and you shot a couple of rounds under 70. You're knocking on those doors, man. And for someone from New Zealand that's going to the US that's a bit nervous about not getting an opportunity to compete right away, what advice could you give them? Because you completely did that.
I think as a freshman, because on my team I was only freshman.
Yeah.
I didn't have, you know, any experience on like the college thing, but obviously your teammate, you got to surround yourself with that team culture, and my team was amazing with that. They helped me. They're like, you know, everyone goes through that stage where, like, you know, you got to feel your ground.
Yeah.
You got to like learn how to compete and all that. And I really did learn that, how to compete with my teammates and with other schools. But you just got to like remember that all your other teammates have been through this at least, you know, 1, 2, 3 years, you know, and they know how to get through that. But you just got to keep persevering, and, you know, if you put in the work, your coaches will see that.
Yeah.
So keep putting the work, outworking the other guys, whether it's in the gym or in the classroom or wherever it is. You just got to have that work ethic of, you know, that killer mindset of
Yeah.
improving all the time. That's
Bro, what's your biggest rivalry against a college in your conference? What is the team that you're just like, man, we hate these guys. We want to take them out.
our rivalry. Unfortunately, that school doesn't have a men's golf team.
Yeah.
But our rivalry with all the other sports and the women's golf team as well is Corpus Christi.
Is it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's another school along South Padre Island.
Yeah.
Along that east side of Texas.
Yeah, yeah.
So every time we have like a home game, it's gonna be a packed game, and it's a good atmosphere.
Their mascots, the Islanders, eh?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Islanders, yeah.
There was a couple of men's tennis players from New Zealand that went there, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They I don't think they're there anymore, but they enjoyed their time there. But they said it was a bit of a rivalry between your school and them.
Yeah.
That's epic,
definitely.
man. But what was it like? Did you ever jump on a plane and travel anywhere with the team?
Yeah.
Where did you go? Tell me, bro.
Conference finals. We
There you
went
go.
to a place called Boulder City
Yep.
in Nevada. It was like half an hour from Las Vegas.
No gambling, right?
no gambling. I won't. Yeah. Whatever stays in Texas or whatever stays in
Vegas.
happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But it was a lot of fun being like we fly together.
Yeah.
My coach got my birth date wrong.
No way.
So when we were getting our tickets, my birth date was something like September 6th, 1999 or something. And that's a good 5 years off.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of issue there. So it took me an extra half an hour to get in with all the security stuff.
Yeah.
Had to go back in and come back out and all that sort of stuff. But we got in our flight and then we had another thing, which was weather.
Oh, okay.
So we got inside and the weather was terrible. So we had to fly to Houston or Dallas, one of those places.
Yep.
Weather was terrible and delayed us another 5, 6, 7 hours. We're just sitting around in the terminal. That was tough, and we didn't have a practice round.
Yeah. So you went into the course like no warm-ups, nothing.
Oh no, actually we did have a practice round, but we didn't have any practice that day before. But yeah, we went in. Obviously Nevada was a different climate.
Yeah.
A lot more altitude, I believe it was, and the ball goes further. And I mean, the weather was amazing.
How do you control that, man? Like, playing in different altitudes as a golfer.
Yeah.
Like, how do you control it?
Well, I think you just got to hit a few shots and kind of understand how much further the ball's going, and I do it as a percentage.
Okay.
So let's say I hit my 7 iron 160 meters, and the ball's going 170 meters. That's probably another. How much is that? 5 to 10%, something like that. So the ball's going to go that much further. And then that kind of applies for all the clubs. So obviously, the shorter the distance, the less difference is going to be.
Yeah.
And
So you just hold it further down the club.
You can do that, or you just
The cheat code.
or you just play for the number, and you just got to trust it.
Yeah.
That's the big thing in golf. You just got to trust it. Like if you go to different places, you just got to trust it.
Yeah.
Like coming back from Texas, where the weather was super hot and there was a bit more altitude, it's a bit frustrating because the ball goes a bit shorter here in winter and less altitude and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But you got to get used to it.
You get some athletes that are complete know-it-alls. Don't take any advice from everyone. And then you've got people like yourself that's like a sponge, soaks up all the information from the coach. It must be so important to take advice from Coach Houston when you're playing at different altitudes, right?
Yeah.
Like he's going to tell you, hey, look, here you got to be a bit more careful. Maybe instead of going and ripping your 4 iron, maybe go, 5 iron and just be a bit more strategic around it.
Yeah.
I mean, how important is that to listen?
It's definitely very important. Like, obviously, he's gone through the collegiate system and, a lot of big-time programs and as a coach. So he's learned a lot of, he's got a lot of knowledge from all those past experiences. And as a student athlete, as one of his student athletes, I got to learn from him.
Yeah.
Everything he says is valuable. I just got to learn from him.
Yeah.
Soak it up like a sponge, like you just said.
Yeah, bro, that's it, man. Those that don't listen struggle, bro. And you just have to be open to listening to things from the coach. It must be hard, bro, sometimes where coach says something to you and it kind of gets to you. I mean, every athlete goes through it. How do you deal with that?
Well, during our competition, never happens. Like
Yep.
he knows what to say at the right time, and
That's why he's the
real
GOAT.
helpful. That's why he's the GOAT, exactly. But I haven't experienced much of that. I guess it's just gotta work hard,
Yeah.
and just stay on the right path. Obviously, I would have liked to travel more.
Yeah.
And during those weeks, it was like, just gotta keep grinding. You're almost there. Just encouraging me to stay with it.
Yeah.
It's not like you miss a tournament, it's the end of the world. It's like you can improve more, and stay focused, and you'll be there next week.
What advice can you give people? Because obviously, if coach says, "Hey, Henry, look, sorry, you're not traveling this weekend with the team. You didn't make the cut. We're going to take X amount of athletes away." Obviously, you feel, damn, like I've come all this way.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to play. How do you trick yourself into turning that into a positive?
Well, obviously, it can be frustrating, but you just got to tell yourself, you've made it all the way here. You're on the right path, and you just got to keep grinding. It's just think of it as another week to get better, instead of, obviously they get to travel and get to compete for the school. That's where you want to be. But it's another week to grind and get better, and then make that team next week.
Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. For sure. I mean, what is some advice to wrap this podcast up that you can give young student athletes that want to go to college? Maybe they're they're grade 10, 11, 12 in school, and they're looking at going to the States. What is some advice you could share with them?
I had never really understood when I was year 9 and 10 that I wanted to go to college in America. I didn't even know what it was at that time. But now looking back at it, the academic side of it is pretty important. Like, obviously,
Your academics helped you big time, man.
Yeah, exactly. Helps a lot with academic scholarships and all that sort of stuff. And then coaches, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy's real smart in the school," and they're more likely to look at you as well, which is another thing. So I think academic is real important for all the guys trying to go over to the States.
Yeah.
And I think it's your attitude. You got to be real good with your attitude. So always being positive, always looking up, even when something bad has happened, and they just want to see you improving. And, something that helped me a lot was soaking everything up, whether it was my teammates, coaches, or just classmates. Whoever it was, I would learn from them.
Yeah.
And that helped along the way.
Bro, you're going to go so far, because I know that you're never satisfied and you're always willing to learn. You're never wanting to be comfortable. And, bro, I respect you for that. I think that there's some big things in store for you. What are the chances of you teaching Will how to hit an approach shot into a green? Because I saw a swing the other day at the Rimmery Golf. It looks pretty dusty. It looks pretty dusty there, Will. Nah, we're actually wanting to have a round with some of our platform athletes. We're going to try and set that up when you guys get back next year in May. Okay. Where we go out, we play a bit of an Ambrose tournament. I'm going with you, bro. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, bro. There's no chance that Will can be snaking you from me. But look, that's it, guys. That's the podcast. We've got Henry Wang here that's joined us. And, bro, thank you so much for sharing all that information. I think that's going to really help a lot of people. And, again, if you guys want any more information, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, or go to our website, platformsportsmanagement.com. We do free consults and all that good stuff. But, yeah, man, when are you going back?
This Friday.
Let's go, baby. Yeah. Fire up. Year 2. Easy. Henry Wang. Let's wrap that up.